The real horror story is that Tekashi 69 is going to grace us with another album. Welcome to Morning Reflections. I am your host, the Fat Mantis. That's right, I just heard that Tekashi 69 got an $8 million record deal that he's going to do before he disappears into witness protection program, as if a man with a 6'9" tattooed on every inch of his body, including his face, knuckles, and probably his is gonna be able to disappear. Like he's gonna be doing, the Better Call Saul working at a Cinnamon thing. Spoiler alert, he gets murdered eventually. But yeah, that is the true horror story. But I've got a lot going on today. I've got the El Camino review for you. That's the Netflix original Breaking Bad sequel film to explain what happened to Jesse Pinkman. And I want to address another thing. I wonder if you smell it in the air. It is the essence of Halloween. And I'm smelling blood and terror. That's right, I'm a very Halloween man, and this channel is about endless horror for at least the next month, maybe 2 months, maybe 6 months, who knows? But I am going to crank it up. So this will be the last happy-go-lucky episode of Morning Reflections you will see for a while, and the rest will bring terror, death, and destruction. But moving on, let's get into El Camino review, starting right now. I'm going to be having a nice nightcap. And yes, I put ice in my Chardonnay. And no, I'm not embarrassed to say that. And here is my review of the Netflix original movie, El Camino. And I wish I could say I could love it. It was 122 minutes long, and I wish it was, 2 episodes long. I wish it was the equivalent of the best 2 episodes that could ever produce for us, because of course we're waiting for epicness. Obviously, we are waiting for the Jesse Pinkman story finally told to us, as he was deprived of a story arc in the final season, which I think is one of the main complaints people have. Unfortunately, it does not live up to par. It is not horrible. However, it is Jesse going up against a bunch of no-name villains and low lives that don't reflect back to the majority of the seasons. And here's the whole thing. The thing that makes a really good episode really good is that it has history. It is stuck in the history of the show. You can't have the best episode of a show the first episode. Pilots can be good, but usually their series' best episode has to do with episodes down the line, because we have a long, rich backstory, and then storylines are eventually paid off. No storyline in Jesse's entire life is paid off here. For a lot of the problems that Better Call Saul has, where it is being original, it's good. However, when it's doing flashbacks of characters we already know just to pay fan service, it is not so good. Which they do a lot of. They have all the major flashbacks to characters, including, spoiler alert, Walter White appears there. Now, what I really love about it, probably the best moment I've ever had in it, and in a lot of Breaking Bad, is the summation of the Breaking Bad series, and it comes down to this. There is a moment where, in an early flashback, going back to early Jesse and Walter, back when they even had the Winnebago, they're still cooking the Winnebago. At college, it's Walter White being a parent or a teacher. But what he says is, when he starts to daydream, is, "You're so lucky, Jesse, that you didn't have to wait to the end of your life to do something great." And he didn't mean do something great like save the planet or a rainforest or educate somebody or win an award. He meant just break, as Breaking Bad suggests, as in live your life, unchained, free, flying like a bird, doing whatever you want. And it's almost like he envies the looseness of Jesse, that Jesse, he's so refined and held back, he can't bring himself to admit it, but he actually loves the fact, that's why he keeps Jesse around, that Jesse is this free animal, like a wild animal that does whatever he wants, including cook meth, earn lots of cash, and just do whatever. And you can see Walter respects that and kind of loves that. He won't admit it openly, but as he uttered that phrase, it was so poignant. It was very good. However, the rest of the adventure is ultimately, it's just Jesse trying to escape town, and a lot of cameos and all these things, and a lot of things that don't fully make sense or weren't realized ultimately. Like, there's a part where his PTSD controls him, and it shows that when he basically became Reek from Game of Thrones. While we discover this, that he was turned into a Reek character when he was imprisoned. Now that he is free, he has a Reek moment where he gives in to the cops, which I didn't love. A story is kind of lame when the characters are constantly giving in or being weak, or I love those standoffs, the Mexican standoffs where people have guns to each other, and then they end up not shooting or using the gun when they really logically should have. There's a lot of that going on in the series.
To my chagrin, they did not answer many of the series' pressing questions. There's a huge list of whatever happened to's that are out there, which this series didn't even bother with.
What happened to Skylar? She should have written a book or something about her experiences. What happened to Walt Jr.? What happened to the Nazi gold that was stolen from Walt? What happened to Brock? Why are Skinny Pete and Badger not bigger morons like they used to be? They used to be so amusing. I don't know who these guys are. What happened to anything? Is this even a Breaking Bad show?
However, it was good to see Jesse Pinkman and all the other actors and all these things. My ultimate result is that I give it a 75. So it's not horrible. It's not good. If you are a Breaking Bad fanatic, you absolutely have to watch it. So that was El Camino. Not the greatest. Not the best thing, that could have ever happened. However, I do honestly think they failed on what they should have done. They could have brought it to full circle and made it pure epic, including having Jesse A get the mother lode, aka Walter's White's stash of money that was stolen by the white supremacists, or B, him getting revenge on other people, or a combination of all these things. But they chose not to do that. They chose to do a smaller, less intense, less important story.
It would seem in the end that the creators of this movie had nothing profound to say about Jesse, and therefore nothing to add. Which is surprising considering how deep and profound Breaking Bad the series was, and how well it treated all the other characters.
And it's there. It's there. It's like, it's like mashed potatoes, for lunch or something, or I don't know. It's like an Ed Sheeran song. It's just there. So that's my review of El Camino. Hope you'll enjoy it. But check it out, guys, if you really are a Breaking Bad fanatic.
So there you have it. Those were my thoughts on El Camino. What did you think about El Camino? Am I being too hard on it? Is it really good art? Is it far deeper than I'm giving credit for? Is Jesse Pinkman the greatest character in American fiction to date? Let's discuss that. But until then, I want you to love one another, embrace Halloween, embrace candy, and embrace all things dark, especially horror comics, which I know I promised you the episode of, which we will be getting into when I have time. Other than that, tune back in for more American Horror Story reviews. I've got a review and analysis and theories for episode 4 going on Monday. Until then, like, share, and subscribe. Ciao. One out.